Alright, welcome back to another video. The title of today or the topic of today is why discipline is self-love and not punishment. Most people hear discipline and instantly tighten up. They associate it with pressure, rules, or punishment, or restrictions. And in a way that is the case, but at the same time you're doing it with the best intentions. Discipline isn't control, it's care. It's the kind of love that says you deserve better and I'll make sure you get there. You see, there comes a point where comfort turns into pain. When not showing up for yourself hurts more than the effort ever could. For example, you decided that you're going to neglect your health, your physical health, your mental health, and then all of a sudden you hear from the doctors that you have diabetes, or if you don't change the way your life is, your lifestyle, you will end up in a place you don't want to be. That's when change begins, not from hate, but from self-respect. Transformation starts with honesty. Basically saying, where are you at the moment and where do you want to go? Where do you want to be at? And it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be like 5 years from now. It works for some people, but you might also think, where do I want to be 8 weeks from now? When the body feels heavy, the mind restless, and the mirror doesn't match who you are inside, that's when the majority of people start making changes. If you feel like you want to be a healthy person, but the mirror shows you something different, that sometimes can make sure people get motivated to start working on their goals. The thing is that showing up isn't punishment. It's remembering who you were always meant to be. Now let's get over some of the reasons why discipline isn't punishment, but an act of self-love. Most people treat discipline like a form of suffering, but it's actually a declaration of worth. Every time someone chooses to get up early, train, or make a healthier choice, they're saying, I'm worth the effort. I'm standing for a positive change in my life. Discipline is the moment you stop abandoning yourself for temporary comfort. Yes, of course it's easy and comfortable to stay in bed when it's dark and cold outside. But what's better is when you get up, show up for yourself, dedicate some time to yourself, to your mental health, to your physical health. Because it's not something you do to yourself, it's something you do for yourself. Motivation is a feeling and discipline is a decision. If you sit around and wait for you to feel disciplined all the time, you will not get anything done. I'm gonna be honest with you. The majority of the times, I do not feel like working out at all, especially waking up early or after work when I had a long day. But I function on autopilot these days because motivation is unreliable and I know that. I know this from experience. It fades when weather is bad, like I said, dark, cold outside, when energy is low or when no one is watching. Discipline on the other hand though, discipline is rooted in values, not moods. Meaning you have standards. If you say, I want to live a healthy lifestyle, you go to the gym, you work out, you do whatever you gotta do, no matter the circumstances. This is what keeps someone showing up when the excitement is gone. That's where motivation really begins, when consistency stops being emotional and starts being intentional and on autopilot. So stop relying on motivation. The third reason is that discipline builds identity. Every disciplined act requires the story someone tells about themselves. Now we're talking about the identity part. If you want to be the person who lives a healthy lifestyle, an athletic person, you have to start doing the things the people who are actually living that lifestyle and are athletic do. Every time you do an action that moves you in that direction, you solidify in yourself that I am that person. At first, the identity might sound like I'm trying to get in shape, but over time it becomes I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. And that shift in identity is more powerful than any physical result because once someone believes they are the person, the actions naturally follow, like I said. And the thing is, the real freedom comes from structure. Oftentimes, people feel lost, like they're drifting, because they have no direction whatsoever. But if you have a direction, let's say, I'm a healthy person, you know exactly the things you need to do and the things you need to stop doing. A lot of people think discipline takes freedom away, but the truth is, it creates it. Imagine this. You get an assignment to create something creative and you can only use 2 colors, blue and white. It makes it easier because you have a direction about the colors you need to use. Otherwise, you will be contemplating, should I choose red, should I choose purple, should I choose black? But now that you have those 2 colors, that's all you got to work with. That's all you have to use to be creative. And that's the same thing with being disciplined and having values. If you have a direction, all the other distractions go away because you know exactly what you need to do and what you need to stop doing. When someone has structure, they no longer live at the mercy of impulses or procrastination. They feel more control They feel more in control, more grounded, and more confident. Structure removes decision fatigue, and the mental clarity, that's real freedom. Because now you have energy left to do things that actually matter instead of procrastinating, contemplating whether or not you should do something. One of the beautiful things about discipline is that it's a language of love. Anyone can talk about self-love, but discipline shows it. It's how love behaves when it's serious. True love doesn't enable comfort. It invites expansion and challenges, positive challenges. Every time somebody chooses to be disciplined, they're saying, I care enough to do what's right, not what's easy. I heard a quote once that said, if you do things that are easy, your life will be hard. And if you do things that are hard, your life will be easy. And I have to say, I'm a witness of that myself. I'm going to give you an example that has nothing to do with fitness, but it shows exactly the quote I just talked about. When I was studying, I decided to... Let me drink my protein shake real quick. When I was studying, I decided to take student loans, right? Because I was going through a rough time and balancing study and work felt impossible at that time. And at that time, that felt the easiest way out. Now, 10 to 12 years later, looking back, that was the easiest decision I made. But now I have to live with the consequences because I have a student debt, right? Again, it has nothing to do with fitness, but this is a perfect example of when you choose the easy way out, later on, you have to live with the consequences. So make sure that you do things out of self-love and challenge yourself to improve instead of choosing the easy way out. Another thing is that the gym or your workout routine becomes a mirror. Every time someone trains or you train, you're not only shaping your body, you're studying your mind. And what do I mean by this? Basically, you start seeing patterns. When the mind wants to quit, when your body wants to quit, how your body and your mind reacts to resistance and how easily it negotiates with excuses. Because why would you do 10 reps while you can do 6, right? And at one point, you need to start pushing yourself, I know I can do more. And the thing is, the mind gives up before the body gives up. Our bodies are capable of handling so much more than we actually think. And with emphasis on think, because when your mind says, I can't do no more, your body follows. And that's why it's important to put yourself to challenges when it comes to resistance training. So that's the beauty of fitness. It exposes your relationship with discipline in real time, and the gym becomes therapy, not punishment, if you do it the right way. Oftentimes we think that it's all or nothing, but the thing is, small decisions, small actions of discipline compound into massive change. Transformation isn't one big leap, it's 1,000 small steps, or hundreds, whatever works for you. Progress is quiet before it becomes obvious, and that's exactly in the moments that people quit. I'm not seeing my body changing. I'm not seeing any progress. So why do I keep doing this? It's in the unexpected moments that we start seeing changes in our body, in our mindset. And that's why discipline matters, because it builds and it helps you and it teaches you patience. The body, the mind, the confidence, all are shaped by repetition. Like I said before, this is a little bit similar. Discipline reduces chaos and creates peace. When life feels heavy, structure creates lightness. Routine gives stability when everything else feels uncertain. Even small acts of consistency remind you that you can direct your life. And that's why whenever I feel like my life is falling apart or I feel like shit, I work out because I know that's the only thing I have in control. And the sense of order brings peace, not pressure. Last but not least, discipline grows from compassion, not criticism. Cut yourself some slack here and there. Don't use it as an excuse all the time to not work out or not to do heavy lifting. But hating yourself when things don't go the way you want to are not going to make it easier. As a matter of fact, it's going to make it even worse. But it's about your intention behind what you're choosing to do. Because it comes from wanting better, because you finally believe you deserve it. And when discipline is rooted in love, it feels like alignment, not punishment. It becomes an act of healing and not control. So that's the video for today. I hope you found value. If so, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I want to hear from you. Leave it down in the comment section below. What do you do on days when motivation feels impossible? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. Thank you for your time, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.